For 5 days we drive through the Sahara in our 4x4. During our journey through Morocco, the Sahara Expedition is our highlight. In this dedicated video, we take you along. From the moment we deflate our tyres, driving through dried out riverbeds covered in bull dust, deep into the sea of sand, and all the way up onto the peaks of the dunes. We share our exact route and what we learned about driving on sand in the last 3 years of overlanding in the Middle East and Northwest Africa. We're Camillo and Anouk and we converted Dakar, our 4x4 Mitsubishi Pajero, into a camper. Before starting university, we spent 3 years traveling and living in our car. On our second overlanding journey, we're traveling with our Dakar from Germany to Dakar, the capital city of Senegal. We spent 4 months on the road, driving 18,000 kilometers through Northwest Africa.
Now we're in the south of Morocco in the Zaher region. We have already left the paved road. For the next 5 days we'll have nothing but gravel and sand under our tires. Our tank is full of diesel, our stocks filled with food and water for at least 2 weeks, and our phones have offline maps, so we don't need phone reception. We pass by the desert village of Mahmid and head deeper into the desert. It takes some time to get back used to driving on sand. Dakar begins to gently rise and fall. The steering feels smooth as the tires sink into the soft sand. The air is dry. Fine dust hangs in the sunlight like a veil.
Driving on sand is different from off-roading on gravel or rocks. In the desert, you don't want your tires to dig down, you want them to float over the sand. That's why reducing tire pressure is essential. By airing down, the tire footprint becomes larger, spreading the vehicle's weight over a wider surface area. On asphalt roads, we usually drive with about 2.5 bar. Here on sand, we reduce the pressure to 0.9 bar.
Over the next few hours, the dunes are getting ever larger. We follow old tracks in the sand, heading towards the first dune sea, Erg Zaher. In Morocco, the Sahara isn't a single endless sea of sand, but a patchwork of vast dune fields, known in Arabic as Erg. We plan to drive along and also venture into the dune seas.
We start to choose wisely where to place our tires in the soft sand. Dakar seems to shrink as the dunes rise ever higher. The Sahara is the world's largest hot desert, covering around 9 million square kilometers. However, only a small part of the Sahara is covered by sand. 80% of it is stone desert, also called Hamada.
We reach the Lion Dune, with its imposing 250-meter height, and pick our camping spot right beside the massive dune so we can climb it. This takes longer than we thought, but the view from the top is worth every step. The wind howls around us, letting the sand swirl in the air.
The next morning, we start our day riding the dunes. The dunes feel like a huge playground.
An ocean of sand and dust rising and falling before our windscreen.
Thanks to overnight humidity, the sand is firmer, giving us better traction and making the first kilometers of the day easier.
Driving on sand is all about reading the terrain and maintaining momentum. By driving with a relatively low gear, it's easier to keep the engine within its torque band and ensure power is always available when needed. Maintaining a steady speed and consistent throttle is especially important before inclines. The sand constantly swallows momentum, so hesitation causes the tires to instantly dig in. When heading down again, it's best to not brake hard, but rather let the vehicle roll straight down, using engine braking and minimal throttle to help maintain stability. In general, dunes should be approached perpendicular and driven straight up or down. Taking them at an angle significantly increases the risk of a rollover.
It's best to slowly start driving sand. driving on soft ground over small hills and van dunes, getting a feeling for the car, its power, and most importantly, personal abilities. Many off-roading accidents happen with rental cars, when people don't know the car, have a false sense of security in the modern vehicles, and take risks they would avoid in their own car.
We started driving sand in the Middle East and had the fortune to have met a dune bashing instructor in Qatar who took us along for the ride and gave us some tips. Disabling traction control or selecting sand mode helps prevent unnecessary power reduction, while locking the center differential ensures an even front-to-rear power split for improved traction.
It's also important to consider where in the sand you can stop and where you instantly sink in. Choosing firm, level ground rather than hollows or the soft sand of a dune reduces the risk of getting stuck. Yet, the desert is unforgiving, and sooner or later, every driver finds themselves buried in sand. Knowing how to recover is essential then, but that's a topic for another video.
Another thing to keep in mind, although there is nothing to be done about it, is that when the sun is at its zenith, there are almost no shadows. That makes it much harder to judge the height and shape of dunes.
After a morning playing in the dunes, we continue to the next erg. But to get there, we need to traverse some tricky terrain. As we cross the riverbed of a dried out river Zaher, we're suddenly engulfed in a cloud of dust. We realize we drove right into a patch of bull dust, or as it is known here, into fesh. It's a powdery, deceptive desert sand that looks firm but acts like flour, sometimes reaching depths of over half a meter and swallowing tires while killing momentum.
Driving through it requires steady speed, smooth steering, and a strong engine to push through the heavy resistance. Stop and you're likely stuck.
In the afternoon, we reach the Erg Chigaga. For navigating higher dunes, it's good to have satellite pictures to roughly know the formation direction of the dunes, so that you can find a trail in the interdunal depressions. We settle at the base of a tall dune for the night.
When choosing a place to camp out here, there's one important thing to remember. Deserts may look dry, but they can flood with shocking speed. A distant storm can turn a shallow basin into a river within minutes. That's why it's wise to park on slightly elevated ground.
The next morning, we prepare breakfast in the shade of our canopy. Our meals are simple. Usually we eat porridge with dried fruits, but in this case, we eat an omelette with onion and bell pepper. Eggs and onions both stay fresh for many days without a fridge.
We decide to explore the surroundings of our camp spot and set off into the dunes. The sand is warm and soft under bare feet, like liquid gold.
Even though this landscape seems to be lifeless at first glance, once you spend a bit of time in it, you notice that it's crawling with life, literally. Desert ants dart across the hot sand, their long legs lifting their bodies high above the surface to minimize heat exposure and prevent overheating. Nearby, a desert pebble mantis blends into its surroundings, its stone-like appearance providing both protection from predators and the perfect disguise to ambush prey such as ants. Not far away, a desert darkling beetle scuttles across the sand. Each of these small creatures uniquely adapted to survive the extreme conditions of the Sahara.
We bid farewell to our beautiful camp spot and leave Erg Chigaga. The last days of our desert expedition we want to spend in a small oasis we spotted on Google Maps while scrolling the satellite view. The sand makes way to compacted dirt, and we inflate our tyres again. In order to air up, a compressor is needed. On our travels in the Middle East we had a really cheap one, which took a long time to inflate and wasn't very convenient, but did its job. This time we invested in an ARB compressor, which we installed under the passenger seat, so that we now deflate our tyres much more often because they're much easier to fill again.
We don't quite know what awaits us, but as we reach the oasis, we're in awe. After days amidst endless open space and unbroken silence, the thick rustling palm trees and tangled greenery feel almost like a hug, enclosing us with shade, shelter, and relief.
The next 3 days we are part of this small ecosystem. We observe nature from within our hammock. A herd of dromedaries pass by, and we draw water from the well for them to drink. With the water from the well, we also wash our bodies and clothes. And we rinse off all the dust from the past days. At night, wild donkeys wander past. We only hear their distant hoofbeats and their raw bray through the night air.
While sharing our journey on Instagram, we got contacted if we felt the presence of genies in the oasis. In Islamic folklore, genies are spiritual beings made of smokeless fire who inhabit remote, liminal and powerful natural places. It could be possible that an old jinn dwells among this oasis and watches over it. On the third day, we leave the oasis and thank it for its shelter. Our journey continues, and we leave behind the valley with the lion dune, the deep bull dust, and the restless desert ants. Maybe we'll return one day, but most likely we won't. As we move on, this place gently slips into the quiet realm of remembrance, as we only carry its echo within us. See you soon!